And when I was looking at the list of the topics that they were given in terms of choosing, I specifically got interested with this topic of women as prey. I come from an industry and I come from a place where it's absolutely male-dominated industry. So when I ask you women about when you have to shift your homes, when you shift your houses, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? You know, if you have to shift your home, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Safety.
Safety and
Whether they will allow or not.
they will, who will not
The
allow?
family members will allow.
I mean, but you have to shift your house. So you're, I mean, how do you go about that?
The environment.
The environment. So I think when people have to shift homes, the first picture that comes to your mind is 4 or 5 guys coming into your house, wearing slippers, not very hygienic, who would maybe touch your stuff, pack it properly or not pack it properly. How the stuff would be reaching the destination properly or not, how much would be broken, how much would be taken care of. So I come from an industry that deals with these issues. So I run a company called PMR. We are into relocation across the world. We look after people when they shift homes within cities across India or overseas. So, and my father started this business in 1986, just after I was born, and I'm the only child. And when I was 21, finishing my MBA, I obviously always wanted to help my dad. But when I was stepping into this world of packing and moving, that's what they call it, I was discouraged by everybody because packing and moving is not supposed to be a woman's job. It's transporters, it's labor, it's helpers. What is a woman doing there? So I was all 21 and stepped into an industry which was definitely not welcoming to me. Of course, I had a business that was going on and we were about just 25 people at that time in the company. I think my father also never expected me to take it to the next level. He thought, okay, it's a certain thing that's going on in the business, so you know, she may just help us do things. And today we are a team of 600 people. We are bootstrapped, we are not funded by anybody. We rose from a turnover of 2 CR to 50 CR. And I've traveled 34 countries exclusively by myself, building the business. And the first thing when I started, and I started talking to my clients, like I went for a corporate meeting, the first question was like have you come alone? They were just not able to relate. Like a 21-year-old trying to sell that I will be able to pack and move your office the best way. So the questions were like, will the labor listen to you? Will you be able to command over the people? Will you be able to learn, understand the processes? How will you manage quality? And the list is endless. And the people who were working with us, most of them were elder to me. They were all, so I have all men in my office, most of them. Now the ratio is very different, you know, that I'm going to talk about that a little later in terms of how, you know, women sort of thought that packing and moving is definitely not their thing. But I personally believe when you look at a house, like I think men are not interested how the house looks. Like they would not even know where is what. A woman is very, I would say very sensitive about their belongings. They will exactly be careful if things are not in the right place. So I really thought that this is not a man's industry. This is definitely something that has to come from the heart. And I think anything that comes from the heart, women will always excel at it because that's where we excel ourselves with. But the point is that this particular industry or any logistics industry in India is considered not a woman's world. It's just considered a man's world. I used to go for these conferences across India and overseas as well, and I saw the same situation. So it's not about just India. The whole mindset about an industry that has labor, has men in terms of handling the basic jobs, and I would say blue collar jobs, it's not a woman's thing. And I think so far we've been able to successfully manage not even just grow the business but also the kind of people who work with us. My packers, my crew, my supervisors, their families are running very happily with the organization. We also do a lot of initiatives for their children, their education, to make sure that their daughters do not fall prey to any other mindsets in the society. So a lot of my packers, their daughters are also now joining the organization in a slightly senior role. So we've been able to create employment. So I think the moment you start thinking that this particular part in this particular industry is not where we should be, that's the real challenge, and that's where we should really jump on and say, okay, this is an opportunity. If people say this is something you cannot do, then that means there are so many people in the past who would have thought the same way. So the moment you start changing the mindset, you really change the way people look at the entire industry. Today, I think when I step out and I talk to a corporate about their their expats coming, say for example, IKEA is setting up in India. So we're talking to IKEA for all their expat relocations and helping them settle in India. They look at things so differently. But 10 years back, that was not the story. So if I'm sure not many people know about this industry because people still think packing and moving is a transporter's job. Tempo aa jayega, there'll be 4 laborers and they'll pack and move the stuff. But this is a very organized industry. And therefore, sure, people don't know that this could be run by a professional also. So first thing was like, why an MBA is doing, I mean, I'm an MBA. So why would an MBA get into a transport business? This is not your thing. You should be a consultant, you should be you should be in the advertising world, or you should be in jobs which are more suitable for women. This is the line that I always heard. That you should, what are you doing in an industry which is so much stress? Like every day is a problem, something happens, truck accident ho jaya, there is a vehicle that's stuck at the check post, there are challenges that you have with laborers. Obviously, this is not easy to deal with them. So why are you part of an industry that is so stressful? You should do something that's more, which will give you more time and free space and you could do your own thing. I really didn't understand all of that. I think anything that, that connects you with your heart is something that we should definitely take it up. It is not important whether it's a man's industry or a women's industry. And most of the time, this is one industry, but I'm sure a lot of people would have heard experiences where they would have been told that this is not your job. You cannot do this. How will you manage people who are young, who are elder to you in your office? Most of my team members when I was 21 were all older to me. Forget about being men. I was the youngest. I came from a mindset that, okay, this is boss's daughter. She's going to do her thing and maybe she's not going to stay for a long time. She'll get married, another story. When I got married, the industry started, and I missed one conference overseas. The news was that Akanksha has left the industry. So, I got married in February, the conference in South Africa was in March, so I thought, okay, once I can skip and maybe spend some time because I was getting settled in a new home. And the moment I did that, later on I get news and messages that we didn't know that you've left. I said, I've not gone anywhere, I'm right here. And when I went to investors to discuss about funding, it was about, okay, what happens when you have children? You're a woman entrepreneur. How will you manage everything? What is the guarantee the organization is going to run the way it's running? But these are questions never asked to men. I mean, it's not judged or decided by a man when he gets married that he would be not, if he misses something, he must be giving some time to his wife. It's not about he's quit the business. But I had those questions. And I was amazed because I just didn't realize, I didn't understand all this because I was never raised as a daughter or a son. I didn't understand that concept. I was the only child. So for me, sometimes it's very difficult to understand that how are jobs divided between a man and a woman? Because I never understand that concept. I got married, I was working till my second last day of my marriage. My engagement was the Thursday, I was working till Wednesday. And then I had Thursday, Friday, 2 days. And then Saturday, Sunday is anyway you have a break. 2 days of leave, that's it. And Monday I was on my laptop. So my office had to literally bar me out and say, boss, 1 week you're not going to send me emails, please relax. I didn't want to because I didn't understand. I mean, why work is, why is it stereotyped that if a woman gets married, she will need a lot of time to come back to work. So that was one angle, and I face this every day. We're looking to raise funds, and the first question is, 2 years of your marriage, you're going to have a child soon. What next? So I don't think men get these questions, do they? Right? They don't. And I'm happy that I'm able to sort of impact lives in my office because there are a lot of girls in my office who, we're an SME, right? So we are really close to the way we look, we sort of give importance to people. A lot of people who come to my office are women who are supposedly doing a job till the time they don't get married. Okay, shadi ho jayegi, then they can always move out, and that's the mindset their parents send them to work. That you're not supposed to, if you're not getting a promotion, doesn't matter, but you need to work from 9 to 6 only. You cannot do beyond that. So the mindset is, work is not important, my marriage is, my family is. I'm not saying it's not important. But the point is that the moment you get married, for me to bring them back and make them independent has been the biggest task. So I have been able to make people believe that their career is not just important till they don't get married. It's not about their income to be with them till they are single. Marriage doesn't change anything. Your income, your level, your satisfaction, your career is equally important even after you get married. And these are people who went to school knowing that, okay, my brother is more important, I am less important. So I deal with these women every day in my office. And we're very happy that in our office we're 60% women now. So, and they will get pregnant, they are getting married, they are going to have children, most of them are having children, but it's a journey which is so beautiful, right? And we need to embrace it. So I think when I say about women as prey, I think just to summarize everything, I come from a space which did not welcome me as making me feel this is my industry. Like I see a lot of women today starting e-commerce business with fashion. That's very relatable. Okay, you're opening in a fashion blog or you're doing some online selling of clothes, but packing and moving, it never came to people's mind that this could be done by a woman. So, and secondly, yeah, you can have a life with a career, you can be an entrepreneur and you can have a family as well. So I think this is what I
You really make me stay on and listen to you. Thank you so much.